Good evening, everyone. Here we are. It is, of course, Fruit Nut News. 19th, here we go, 1911. 1911, just signing at 1911. 9/11, there we go. A few commas there going on, know what I'm saying? So, good evening, everyone. Hope we're all okay. It is, of course, Sunday the 28th today. And, of course, beautiful day up in the northeast of England. A lot of energy flying around. So, buckle up, buttercups, know what I mean? So, yeah, very interesting. Anyway, let's have a quick hello to everybody while we're here. Leslie's in tonight. Sue's in. Dawn Sykes in. David Allen's in. Sheila Douglas is in. Anne's in. Charlene Lamborghini. Belinda's in. Mark Gass in. Kirk Frears is joining us. Graham's in. Denise in. Kira's in. Kate H is in. Pam Keenan's in. Joanna Unwin's in. Dave the Wood Butcher's in. I love that one. What else have we got? Christine Owen, Bill Geo's in. Diane Williamson, Looney Lena, Lillian Florence, John Brink, Annette Lynn, Lisa, Andrea Briggs, and Chris Taylor. So, good evening, everybody. Hope we're all okay. As not a massive amount of different stuff going on, really, but as you all are aware, of course, politics is playing a massive role in the proceedings at the moment. We've also got a lot of rape gang stuff going on. Metropolitan Police have just found 4,000 new cases of rape gangs. According to Sadiq Khan, apparently London didn't have a problem. Unfortunately, the Met Police have found 4,000. How interesting is that, ladies and gentlemen? Very interesting. So it will, of course, be interesting to see what actually happens as we move forward now. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Israel, meanwhile, are using white phosphorus to bomb people. Now, white phosphorus has been banned on humanitarian... Excuse me. It's been banned on humanitarian grounds due to the fact that it's barbaric. If you don't know anything about white phosphorus is put in bombs, and as the bombs explode, the white phosphorus is drawn into your lungs and it burns your lungs from the inside out. If you don't breathe, that's okay. You might survive a while, but once it gets on your skin, it eats away at your skin. So all you friends of Israel, of course, and we know who they are, Conservative, Labour, Reform, etc., we all know who you are, okay? This is of course the country that is using white phosphorus to bomb people, to bomb children, to bomb women, to bomb men. Okay, so let's not fucking beat around the bush here. These people are absolutely barbarians, okay, and they need to be brought to book. This is an international genocide. Unfortunately, it seems as though Israel are okay, and they seem to get away with it. Now, of course, as you all know, we've also had a very, very strong heat wave over the last few days. People have been dying. And apparently people have been dying. The NHS has gone into complete and utter meltdown. Forget your flu, forget your winter flu, forget your winter problems. Fucking hell, they've just gone into absolute meltdown. Or should we say, just another excuse, should we say? Very interesting. What else? Trains, planes, and automobiles. Apparently, airplanes couldn't take off because apparently the tarmac was too soft. I mean, fucking hell, what's going on? What else have we got? Schools were closed because it was too hot. I don't know what. Apparently, it affected the teachers. It's too dangerous. Apparently, too dangerous. Very interesting. Meanwhile, 1976. It was in 1976. I don't know whether you know. I think it was about 10 weeks of really, really hot weather, just like it was yesterday. And every night, excuse me. Oh. Every night the broadcaster would say, well, tomorrow is another wonderful sunny day. In 2026, of course, it's we're all going to die. Very interesting language. What else have we got? Now, apparently Donald Trump is supposedly going to bring a bill back, a bill back from 1869, which would allow him to make the UK a state of America. Now, I don't know about you, but that actually sounds like quite a good idea. Now, today, of course, or yesterday, or whenever it was, the king has now decided that Christianity is not the faith that he wants to pursue, and it's not the faith that he thinks that we want to pursue. And so he's decided that, he's going all on Muslim. Now, that's okay. If you want to go Muslim, that's entirely up to you. I certainly don't. I would say I'm some kind of a spiritual Christian. I don't know what you would call it. Just do the fucking right thing. That's what I say. Don't harm anybody, and and we'll get on fine. Leave the kids alone. That's all. That's all there is to it. Not very difficult, is it? Really, to keep yourself out of trouble. Unfortunately, a lot of people seem to find it very difficult to keep themselves out of trouble, which is quite interesting. So the king is now openly supporting the Muslim, I don't know, what do you call them, brotherhood or people or whatever you want to call them. So it's very interesting, very interesting. The king actually converted, I think it was in, was it 2015 or 14 or something like that? Yeah, he converted. So, very interesting. So for all those royalists that think the king is all Christian, fuck off. He's a proper Muslim geezer. So, very, very interesting. Today was also a very interesting day from an immigration point of view. Now, for quite a long time, I've been telling you that a lot of the people that are coming into this country are mentally ill. And a lot of them are also heavily brainwashed from a religious point of view as well. And of course, we're talking Ali Akbar, so to speak. However, there are a large portion of them that are mentally ill. I mean, seriously mentally ill. And we've kind of we've got this. Should we say, report from a lady that works in a psychiatric unit, and she is saying that over the last couple of years, they are receiving psychiatric patients basically that are mentally ill, and this doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, if you are a third world country and you can't afford to look after your criminals, you can't afford to look after your mentally ill, you've got no asylums, you've got no decent prisons, what do? Well, of course, you export all of those people out of the country as fast as you can. Because, of course, you don't want them in the country wrecking your own country, but it's okay to wreck other people's countries. So that's kind of what's happened. I don't know. I'm presuming that must be with the knowledge of the government of the UK. Now, here we had as well, I think it was yesterday, Labour are now bringing in a new refugee scheme that basically 350 quid to look after a refugee. But also this has been brought in by Mahmood. And it's going to make it easier to bring people in. Now, I don't know about you, but does this not seem a little bit weird? Because, of course, it's clearly waking more and more people up. I don't know. It just seems very, very weird that this is happening. Okay, and so let's talk about what is actually happening. So when we step back and when we look at what's going on now, there is a clear agenda, okay, a deliberate agenda to make everything outrageous. Now, whether or not it's the news, whether or not it's different things, etc., etc. Now, one of the interesting stories that came out yesterday or last night was the 2-year-old girl that had been found dead in a migrant fucking, I don't even know what I didn't even get the full story. But the guy apparently was a French national. Okay, so it's reported as a French national, and then his name was Kevin. Now I don't know about you, but I mean, you don't get many French nationals called Kevin. And you certainly don't get many African. So I don't know whether this story is true, whether it's made up. I just don't know. The problem is that we are having a great deal of a hard time in actually piecing together any of the fucking information or the news that's coming out at the moment. But definitely what is happening is the in your face news of various different things that are going on around the world. I mean, we've got all this corruption going on with FIFA and the game. We've got all the disparities between the teams being treated in different ways and all this. And then we've got the cheating that seems to be going on. That has been very relevant. And if you're not watching it, that's fine, right? But of course, it's highlighting all of these problems. And it seems to me that the people in charge, the people that have been in charge for a very long time, not only seem to be very scared, not only seem to be very scared, but they seem to be losing control, of course, not only of the population, but also, of course, of the narrative and the news. And it's getting more and more outrageous. I mean, like yesterday, I did a very interesting article on a woman that was a journalist for The Sun and the Sun newspaper. And her name was Julie Hartley Brewer. And she was talking about the fact that the British people are not ungovernable. They are just being governed by an absolute load of morons. And this has been going on for 50 odd years. And quite rightly, she said, quote, people are waking up. People are, realizing that the people that are running the system, the people that are in power, are absolutely fucking incompetent. And this incompetence is getting worse and worse and worse. And like I just said to you, the Met Police have just, announced that they've all of a sudden found 4,000 rape gang cases. Shabib Mahmood, whatever her fucking name is, she's just all of a sudden come out and said that, we're going to have a brand new refugee scheme. when at the end of the day, the real question, the real solution should be to be stopping the boats straight away, stopping the people coming into this country. I mean, where is the John Ely, the defence minister, been banging on about he's only got 14 billion. He wants 28 billion apparently. Okay. The other day he resigned. Keir Starmer resigned on Monday. Wednesday, John Healey and Keir Starmer are having a meeting about the defence budget. Now, I thought Keir Starmer had gone. I thought John Healey had resigned. So why are these two geezers, right, having a chat about the defence budget? And then Rachel Reeves was there, and she tried to convince everybody she was going to get 28 billion pounds worth of spending out of actually 14 billion. I mean, how the fucking hell she's going to do that? I mean, if she is actually going to do that, you know, why don't we stop giving money to Ukraine, and why don't we give that money to the armed forces? It's not rocket science, is it, really? I mean, why give away another 25 billion pounds to Ukraine? I mean, we all know why, of course. But why? But people on the street must be going, what the fuck is going on here? They're at. Well, I know they're asking the questions because I can tell by the atmosphere and the rhetoric at my local gym. People are getting wild. People are getting very, very wild. So it is a very interesting thing. Now, I don't know whether you are aware, but planet Earth is changing up to 5D. It's a frequency solar flash thing going on. And what's happening is, of course, the old 3D systems are collapsing, as you can see. You can see all this collapsing, right? You know, politics, Westminster, judges, police, it's all collapsing. The question is what's coming. The question is what's going to happen. Now, I've been trying to enlighten you for a few years now in regards to what's going to happen, you know, further down the line. Unfortunately, at the moment, we've got this chaos going on. And this, of course, is the crossover between 3D and 5D. The Earth was always going to change frequency at some stage. It was always going to do that. It was always going to ascend. Okay, I think there's a few planets that are going to do this as well. But this is the first time ever that a 3D planet has changed up to 5D. Now, I don't know. I've got no idea how that's come about. So don't even ask me. I've got no idea why it's come about. But I do know that this is the chat. That the planet Earth is changing frequency, and we can see this with plasma. The sun is throwing out shit. The chaos is ensuing around the world. That's just a frequency thing. People are losing their shit. People are trying to keep control and trying to keep, and we're not just talking about the politicians now and all that. We're talking about the billionaires, and we're talking about normal people that have had a relatively strong amount of control over themselves and their personal lives, etc., for many years, and all this is collapsing. And it's collapsing very rapidly, and it's causing a great deal of anger, frustration. People don't quite know what they're doing, and so this is a thing that everybody's got to go through. Now, a lot of people are talking about a solar flash. A lot of people are talking about a frequency change. So what I kind of think that is happening, this is obviously it's an awakening, it's an upgrade, the energies are changing, and the 3D people are really struggling. The 3D people are struggling to operate in the new frequencies that's obviously rising up as we move up. You know, if you are a 5D character or you're heading towards 5D, then you'll probably get through it and you'll be all right. But it's going to be a very interesting time for people that remain in the fear, you know, anger, control, etc., etc. So that's going to be an interesting one. So what I think is happening, and this also goes to me personally as well. I think that as this changes, we are going through like a detox, like an energy detox. So remember, for thousands and thousands of years, you know, we've been controlled. We've not had full access to the pineal gland. And there's very, very few people on the planet that manage to open up the pineal gland properly, and etc., etc. Very few people have done that. So, from what I can imagine, this is some kind of a cosmic purge, and this is going to flush out all of the negative entities and the negative stuff that's inside you. Now, remember, a lot of people don't believe in ghosts and jinns and entities and all that shit, but whether you do or whether you don't make any difference. But these things, these entities, feed on your fear. And of course, you know, over the years, you know, the powers that be have been very good at creating fear and wars and warmongering and all that kind of shit that you see. Unfortunately, that's all coming to an end, and it's coming to an end rather rapidly. And so I think that what's going to happen is, when we talk about, you know, people talk about the 12-stranded DNA awakening, the 12-strand DNA coming online, etc., etc. Okay, which we've always had. Okay, we've always had that inside of us. Okay, it's never not been there. Unfortunately, it's been controlled and switched off by all kinds of things. You know, information, religion, etc., etc., etc. And so we've never really been able to gain full access to our abilities, our 12-stranded DNA, the pineal gland opening up. And I think that as we move forward, this is what's going to happen. And you're already starting to see the changes on the planet. And these people that are, you know, these people that are 3D, what I call 3Ders, you know, they're not going to be able to survive because they won't be able to operate in the 5D frequency, and they'll just be gone. I mean, don't ask me how they're going to go. Don't ask me when they're going to go. Don't ask me, but they will just go. Okay, they will just go. You know, and you know, someone said to me about, oh, well, what's going to happen to Donald Trump? Well, look, you know, from my point of view, my perspective, you know, Donald Trump is an actor. He's playing a part in the movie, just like I am. Okay, he just happens to be in that position. There will come a time when Donald Trump will pass away. Whether or not that's naturally, whether or not he's assassinated, I don't know, because I can't see into the future. But that's what will happen. Okay, you know, in the same token, that's what will happen to us as well. 5D and stuff. You know, maybe you're going to get some, I don't know, maybe you're going to get some superpowers and that are going to, that are going to increase your brain and your intuition and your sixth sense, and you're going to get rid of all this fear and anger and grief and jealousy and ego. Fucking hell, that was a big one, wasn't it, the other day? Ego. Get rid of that ego. And remember, all of these entities and that are knocking around that you can't see, they're all feeding off that. And this is where narcissistic people are feeding off it as well. So you've got people like so Keir Starmer. Let's just have a quick banter on Keir Starmer. So Keir Starmer, has been banging on and banging on and banging on and banging on. And don't you think it's really interesting that right up until last week, Keir Starmer was the complete and utter narcissistic fuckwit that we all know he is. Okay, nothing seemed to be touching him, nothing seemed to be happening, and then all of a sudden he went to the G7 meeting, and as soon as he come back from the G7 meeting, after he'd spoken to Donald Trump, after he'd been shown the Epstein files and the fact that his fucking name's on it with a load of other people as well, Keir Starmer all of a sudden stepped down. Now that's it. Now that's what I call interesting. So how long is this? When is this solar flash going to happen? When is this frequency change going to? I think that the frequency change is happening right now, as we speak. How long will it take? I don't know. When will it be over? I don't know. You just have to go with the flow. That's all there is to it. Anyway, listen, I'm going to get myself off tonight. Hope you enjoyed that. I try to do stuff that's, relevant and that's, reasonably important. And I hope that's kind of, help people for, to settle down a bit and to just, and settle down, have a bit of faith and just, sort of like go with the flow and let this process wash over you. Do you know what I mean? If you need to rest. If you need to chill out. If you need to have a can of lager, have a fucking can of lager. Do whatever it is that you need to do. All right, listen, I'm going to get myself off, okay? And you have a great evening. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you all again tomorrow, 29th tomorrow. Somebody said something was happening on the 29th. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, so we'll wait and see. Anyway, listen, love you loads. A great evening. Take care. See you soon. Cheers, bye.